Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. I hope you guys have all been doing good. Do you want to say anything?
Well, today's topic is going to be awesome. I'll let you continue.
Okay, so today we're coming to you guys with the topic of basically the differences being in a relationship, being single, and then being married. So things that we've noticed, after going through the whole single stage, and then the relationship stage, and then now the marriage stage. And we always have this conversation and we say, things we would do if we were still single, or things we should have done, or things like that, So we thought this would be a good one to kind of put out there. So if you're still in your single stage, you can really sort things out before you get into a relationship or get into a marriage kind of situation. So yeah, so we're just going to go one after the other. So I'll do one and then he can do one. So things that we both realized, and then we'll go from there. But before we continue, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and check out some of our other videos after this one, of course, if you find this one interesting. So cool. So let's get right into it. Alright. So the first one that I have down is titled "To Become One." So basically, when I say to become one, I mean, now I'm talking, this is in the context of marriage, right? So once you get married to someone, or even in a relationship, once you begin to, get to know someone and you guys are, becoming more and more and more closer, you going towards that stage of marriage kind of thing, you begin to do, a lot of things as one, right? Let's say, for example, when you go out, sometimes, I don't know about you, but most people, they'll just pay for the bill for the both of you, right? So he'll pay for the both of us, or if I pay, I'll pay for the both of us, because you're training yourself to now be able to look out for the both of you guys. And then when you get into the marriage stage, for example, you're sharing your bathroom, you're sharing your bed, you're sharing your space. Every part of your space is being shared by someone. So it's no longer just you by yourself, it's now the two of you guys. Two of you guys are becoming one, okay? And if you guys know that verse as well in the Bible that talks about, once the man leaves his house, he cleaves to his wife, and they become one. So it's very important that we understand that your space is now not your own. You guys are becoming now one, and you have to be okay with that. You have to be accepting of the fact that it's not only your own space, okay? So that's one thing that we've realized and obviously learned. But I think before you get married, you think, obviously that's going to be the case. But it's different when you're actually in it, when it's let's say, for example, your partner might not be the most, neatest person, and you're very neat. So now you have to be able to accept that. You have to be able to accept that, okay, this person doesn't mind a little mess, even if you do, and you have to learn to be okay with that. Because if you're not, it's going to be a problem, right? So, yeah.
Being one is, guys, just to make it short, your space is not your space anymore, it's her space. You're just filling in little spaces in between, alright? She might give you a little part of the bathroom. It's still not yours. She can still use it when she wants. She might give you some part of the bed, some part of the closet, but when she needs, she'll still put the clothes in there, alright?
Look how big it is. You take
I'm big,
half the bed.
But sometimes I'll fall on the floor by mistake, okay? But my point is, you just have to be ready to compromise in a lot of areas. Becoming one is all about compromising, because now you have to share everything. If you're not good at sharing, it's not going to work. You basically, it's not a hard thing when you love the person, because now you get to an area that you're like, oh, I'll do this for this person. So sharing doesn't become a big thing. You're already willing to give them that. You're already willing to do most of the stuff for them. So compromising is not hard. But if you're on the other hand where you don't like that, you like your own space, you like everything your own way, then probably stay single. Stay single, alright? It's gonna be difficult, but you have to get out of your comfort zone.
The thing is when you say that, is the fact that some people are okay they're okay with being like messy. It's like, no, this is who I am, this is a part of me. Whereas others are not.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to find the in between, because you can't live like that. Some people don't live like that. Some people don't live like in a mess. It's hard for them. It's actually anxiety provoking when you're living in a mess. So it's you have to find the in between.
Of course, obviously, when people have a messy place,
yeah.
No one wants to live in that, but some of them, they get too comfortable in that area. I know a friend, I won't call his name, but he's a clean freak. If he see a little dot on his kitchen table, he'll come and wipe it off. Even if he's doing something important, he'll come wipe it off. So when you're that clean and then you're with someone that's very messy, it becomes like a huge problem. Because now if they do one little thing, to them, let's put it this way, if they come and clean the house, to them it's like, wow, this house is clean. But then you come, you're like, what the hell is going on here? You see mess everywhere and you still go ahead and clean it. It becomes a problem to them. So I feel like in that stage, it's like you have to work on, if they make an effort to clean, like make a sighting for them, be like, wow, Bob, you did it so good today, babe. You did this, it's so awesome. But you can, then later on when you guys calm down, when they see that you appreciate it, then you start, let's do this one together. The more you do that, and also the other way as well, if your person is clean and they're really clean, obviously you try your best to kind of keep the place clean as well, and clean up some places just to show them that you are trying. Because you'll get to the other side, we want you to be clean, alright guys? I'm not saying meet in the middle. No one wants to live in a dirty house.
So the next one is exposure. So once you become, like, this is now talking about marriage mainly, but also in relationships, because exposure in the sense that before you're single, you're minding your business. Nobody knows your business. You're living your life however you want it, whatever you want to do. You wake up in the morning, you want to go to the shops, you want to go and go out to eat somewhere, you want to go and study, you do whatever you want, whatever you feel, however there's no restrictions. And then obviously once you get into like a relationship, someone's going to be asking you, so what are you doing today? Where are you going today? What are we doing? So it's no longer just you on your own, you doing whatever you want to do. You now have to consider somebody else, right? Now let me take it a step further. So when you're married, for example, every part of you is now exposed. Every part of you. I'm talking your emotions. I'm talking your physical, self. I'm talking your self-esteem. I'm talking like every part of you is exposed. So because you're living with this person obviously every day, you're going to see every part of them. Even if it takes a while, when they come out of their shell, if you're someone who maybe screams your lungs out in the shower, or you're someone who you're just the things that you do when nobody's looking, basically. Your person will see it now because you're living with them, right? And I think sometimes with exposure, not that it's a bad thing, but then there are times when it's like you kind of don't have a choice. Like, for example, if you have anger management issues, right? And then once you get married, all of that comes out. And now you have to learn how to deal with those anger management issues, because if your partner is not someone who likes anger or who likes like hot-tempered people, it's going to be difficult. They're not going to accept that. They're going to find it very difficult to actually like comprehend, like, why are you getting upset so quickly? Or why are you getting annoyed so quickly? Like, they don't understand that, because for them, it's not a big deal. Like, things are just like, it's not an issue, So basically your self-esteem, who you are basically is exposed, Us girls with our makeup and our hair, every part of them, before you guys, when we were dating, they didn't get to see all of that. They didn't get to see what you look like before your makeup, unless obviously like you were with them without makeup, and that's actually probably a good thing to do. So you can prepare them.
Praise the Lord.
Prepare them.
Amen.
But now they have to see every part of you looking with looking anyhow, anyway. So that's just one thing, I guess, like as a warning, I guess, like that we have to prepare ourselves for. That once you become married or you're in a relationship, you have to begin to kind of like give out a lot of yourself that you might not have wanted to, or you weren't really doing, because the reason why you become one is because now you're sharing each other's burdens, you're sharing each other's joys, you're sharing every part of yourselves together. It's a good thing. It's 100%. I don't think it's a bad thing, exposure. If anything, because it's better to not hide things. It's better to actually bring things out in the open and be comfortable with each other's openness, you know? Because that's what marriage is purpose for. Like, your person is for you and you are for your person.
Yeah, so, 100%. Definitely. Yeah. You've already covered most of it, so there's no point of me going over it. Yeah. But one thing I wanted to bring up, a point that I wanted to bring up is like, basically when you're single, you know how you're single. I'll bring it out from my experience. Yeah. It's like when I was single, before I met her, I had most of the goals that we have now. It was the same, but it was a bit different. Yeah. You know, I had a dream of getting married, having a child, having a house, and all of this. Yeah. But it was in the area of, for one, getting married. I obviously didn't have in mind who I wanted to get married to, but just someone that I love and stuff like that. I had my own points. Yeah. And then secondly, with working, for me, you know, back when we were still dating, you knew about me going on the mine or going somewhere else. Like, for me, I didn't mind going far away for work, or all I care about is making that mullah, bringing that mullah in. So I didn't mind going on the mine. I didn't mind going somewhere far to work. Yeah. And then another step was, you know, where we live. As you know, I'll always tell you, like, what the hell, you know. I'm a person, I will get out here and go live in a different country. Yeah. And it won't be a problem. You know, I love the change. But then when we came together, it's the same goal is coming in place, but she had an input in an area of, let's say, my job, working on the mine. She made me understand that family is very important in a way of your child needs you there all the time. I need you there all the time as well. And if we're apart, some other issue might come up where we can't handle, which I completely understood. I didn't think about it that way. Like, compromising, you know, you have to compromise when you're in like when you come together, you know, you have to have your own goals and everything. You already do have your own goals, but when you come together now, you're to an area now that you have to put those two goals together. You know, she wanted a house, she wanted this, she wanted that. Luckily for us, most of our goals already align, but there are some goals don't align. So you guys have to compromise in the area. Which one is more important for us as a family? Which one is more important for us as being one? Can we give up one for another? Like, for example, if I was a person that 100% I don't want to live here, I want to live somewhere else, but she would like to live here. Which one is more important? Which one would be willing to give up? So sometimes it has to come to that, but you have to be willing to compromise for both of you for it to work.
So just to add to what he's saying, there's a lot of things that we have to learn to compromise. Like we were saying, obviously, the whole, like, for example, moving to another country thing. But even just the simple stuff, like, let's say, for example, your partner is someone who, like, takes his time to do things, right? And then you say, okay, you know, can you please do this? And you're someone who, for me, like, I don't know about some of you guys, but me, I'm the type that, like, I do things quick. So if I have something to do, I'm on the go. I'm like, okay, I gotta do this, and then I gotta do this, and then when you have someone who, like, a partner who is like, you know, just takes their time, is chill, is relaxed, just, you know, doesn't really care what's going on, just take your time. You can get a bit frustrated because it's like, I'm someone who's a little bit impatient, so I'm like, if I want something done now, I want it done now. Like, let's do it quickly. And then if the person's just taking their sweet time there, you're just like what are they doing? Can they not see that I want them to hurry up and do it? They're just there chilling, taking their sweet time, right? So then it's like you have to, like, learn to, like, compromise in that area where it's like, all right, remember, you're the one that's like, okay, quick, but he might not be like that, so just let him do it in his own time. Because when you get upset and you, like, react, then it's a problem. Then that becomes an issue, right? So going back to that comparison, when you were single, you could do whatever you wanted. You could rush around. You could, even if you're rushing and you get things, like, you know, done a bit, like, incorrectly sometimes, but that's your problem and that's for you to deal with, you know. Whereas, like, when you're in a relationship, you have to be. It's not all about you anymore, basically. And there's a lot of other things that we have to compromise. For example, when we were like, building our house, just choosing the colors for your house, choosing something that you wanted in your house, everything is a compromise. It's like, it's either he likes it or I like it or we both don't like it. We have to come to a place where, yes, we're both happy. Okay. So, yeah. Whereas when you're single, you can choose whatever colors you want. You can do whatever you want. So, really what I'm trying to say is, in your singleness, enjoy it. Enjoy your singleness. Because I feel like sometimes people are very much like, oh my God, like I just want to get into a relationship. I want a partner. I want this. But it's like, are you ready for all of that? Are you ready for the compromise? Are you ready for the oneness? Are you ready for, everything that's going to come with it? You have to really prepare yourself for it, So, yeah. So, do you have anything on it?
What my wife is trying to say is basically prepare yourself for most of the stuff that have to come back. When you come into a marriage or a relationship, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like, if you understand, if you learn to compromise and you learn everything about each other, everything becomes so much easier than when you were alone.
Yeah.
For example, there's so much benefit when you're basically together doing things together.
Yeah.
But if you're alone, everything is much harder. The only bit that we can say that is easier is the fact that you get to make your own choice when you want to make it.
Yeah.
But you can still do that in a relationship. Like, if I wanted to do something, the only reason I consult her about it is because she's my partner. I'm not going to do something with her. Like, I love her and I want her to know that I'm safe, that I'm this and that. That's the reason. She would do the same for me. Yeah. But it's not in an area now that I'm going to stop her. When she wants to hang with her girls, she go. When she wants to hang with her friends. But she let me know.
Yeah.
But the difference is when you're by yourself, you don't have to let anyone know. But still, everything else is harder. Yeah. Like, your income is half. Yeah, you're basically paying for your bills, paying for everything else, looking after yourself. Your emotion is to yourself. You can't talk to anyone about it. But when you're with someone, when you're married or when you're in a relationship, everything is cut in half. But it's only easier when you learn how to compromise. Yeah. Like, to give in with some things, because now you're not to yourself. You can't have the benefit of being in a relationship and being in a marriage and then still having the single mentality. It doesn't work. So when you're in a relationship or in a marriage, you need a marital mindset and also a relational mindset as well. You can't have a single mindset but in a relationship. You can't have a single mindset in a marriage. Or even you can't have a relation, like when you're in a relationship, a normal relationship, dating, you can't have that mindset in a marriage as well. Because a marriage is a completely different thing as well. So definitely, one, you get the freedom of doing whatever, whenever, however you want. The other, you still have the freedom, but you have to consult someone about it and just let them know. And then everything else is easier after that as well.
100%.
So, yeah.
Speaking facts, straight facts. So I think, just to add to what he's saying, there's a verse as well in the Bible that talks about, two are better than one because the return is a lot better. So I'll insert the verse. But two is better than one, like what he's saying, 100%, because at the end of the day, your income, like you said, if you're both working, your income is a lot better. You're both able to talk to each other about whatever it is that you're going through. Even if you're going through the deepest issues in your heart, or family issues, or issues that have, been brought because of generational curses, all sorts of stuff, you're able to have someone to actually talk to about that stuff. And your partner cares for you, you care for your partner, you look after each other. So honestly, marriage is a beautiful thing. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say, are you ready for all of these things? But what I'm trying to say is enjoy every stage. The singleness, there are things that sometimes I tell them, I'm like, if I was still single at this age, I'll be traveling, I'll be doing this, because now that, we have a child as well, that's a different level of responsibility that's added onto. So let's say, for example, he wants to go to soccer. I have to now think about my plans and the things that I'm trying to do before I just leave the house, because now I've been left with the child to look after the child, So, there's a lot that comes with when you're married. There's a lot of different responsibilities that now your singleness, obviously, your singleness is still there, but
it's limited.
It's a lot more limited, and you have to be able to incorporate and consider everything else that's going on in your life. Obviously, it's very healthy and very important to be able to, have time for yourself and, rest and relax and enjoy as well, enjoy life. And I think your partner has to be able to understand that. So, and I appreciate that, I have someone who can do that, and we do that for each other.
Yeah.
So basically what I'm trying to say is each stage is beautiful, but enjoy each stage and don't rush to be like, I really wish I could have, I want this now. Because at the end of the day, there's a time for everything. And also, like, at the end of the day, God has a purpose for every stage as well. So, that's what I want to add to that. Yeah, is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's not much else we want to say. So we hope that this video was helpful and that, you gained something new from it. If you've liked it, give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well, because it encourages us to let us know that, we're giving you guys content that is useful for you all, and give us a comment as well. Let us know what you guys think. Otherwise, thank you so much for coming and, watching this video.
Go on the other page again. I'm not going to keep on saying it, alright? I'm not going to keep saying this. Go on the Instagram page and follow that as well, Heart to Heart with Harry. It's really good. This page is one of our platform, but she also has the other one there, which is awesome as well. It's not as in detail as this, but she put quotes up there that when you read it, it just hits you different. So definitely go on there and check it out.
So guys, thank you for watching Heart to Heart, and we'll see you guys in another video.